welcome to another episode of Xact Hacks brought to you by Actionable Insights. My name is Seth Harrison, and today I actually have an update for you. Last week I put out an Xact Hacks curved decks and reference areas Xact hack, showing you how to pop in decks or curved decks in general. And one of the things I asked for in that video was some feedback as to how do I pop out a deck, because I showed you how to pop in a deck with the arced wall room technique. But how do I pop it out so that I can have accurate measurements on a pop-out deck? John Herr, huge shout out to the director of estimating over at Jenkins Restorations. John Herr reached out to me after that video and put together a little diagram here, which I'll actually show you here, this diagram. But I'm going to show you the steps of this diagram as well, and kind of highlight the limitations of X1 versus X28 and what's possible here. So to start, I have a room again. I'm going to come to this top wall here. I'm going to turn on the arced wall aspect, and I will go ahead and arc this wall a little bit. Then I'm going to hit Shift D together for deck. You'll note that the deck doesn't want to go anywhere near that curve, right? So we're going to drop it down here, pull it up and around. So now I have my deck around there. And so if I were to move this away, voila, you'll see here that I have my deck with my pop in. Cut out of the deck has occurred. I'm going to hit Control Z to bring this back. What John Herr dutifully noted was that if you actually arch this wall in the other direction, then you'll have your pop out. And you can even bring this back up here so that it's even with the other side. And now if I pop out this deck, I have my deck popped out here with accurate measurements and everything that I would need to write an accurate sheet. This is awesome. This is exactly the technique I was looking for, but John Herr even dug a little deeper for us to kind of look at the differences between X28 and X1 here. As you can see in X28, I can move this deck around. I showed some limitations with copy paste, for example. Oh, I can move this deck around here. No, oh, I can't move it around more than once. That's good to know. Let's see if it'll let me pop it back in here. Hey, that's cool. All right, so it can be moved, it can be popped out. For whatever reason, once it's out and you move it, it doesn't like it. If you copy it and paste it, it removes it from this one here. So there's some interesting, unique characteristics about this in X28. I am going to pause, flip to X1, and show you the same technique here. Let's do it. And we're back. Here I have X1 open. I'm already actually a couple steps in here of arcing that wall and bringing this deck around. And as you can see, if I move this room away, the deck does not stay there. So that's an interesting limitation. Now, if I were to grab the deck and move it out, it will react appropriately. Now, if I move this deck again, it will go away. Specifically, if I even just move it over here, that cutout moves out. So you can use this technique of arced walls and rooms with decks, moving decks around, adjusting the arced wall to get these accurate measurements, but the sketch doesn't necessarily react when you move the deck around. As long as you have the deck and you have that cutout accurately measured and put in that sketch, that's the goal here, to get those accurate measurements of that deck. Let me bring this around here. I'll show you that technique again where we're going to pop out the deck here. And so you'll note that I can move this out. It'll stay there. If I move it around again, it'll go away. But this is why John Herr was saying one of the best techniques here is to, at the end of the day, just delete all your walls here, and then turn that room label off. And then if I attempt to move these around together, I imagine that they would be a lot more responsive. I can even make this room a little bit smaller if I wanted to, etc. But you can always delete the walls, turn that room label off to maintain that accurate curve as you move your deck around, etc., by highlighting both with the lasso tool and moving it around here. This has been an update to the curved decks aspect, so that making sure that you can pop out your decks in Sketch using arced walls and rooms just as much as you can pop them in and cut those decks out. Hope you've enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever platform you're viewing this on. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.